started off wanting to be the Goldman Sachs of crypto. And so we started off building a broker-dealer and an asset manager, right? A sales and trading business where we would sit between institutions and the crypto market and try to be the bridge really between crypto and this big institutional world. I used to say the herd is coming, right? The institutions are coming. I was way early, but the herd is finally here.
Did anyone try to talk you out of it, by the way?
Oh, everybody. I mean, listen, early on, I bought my first Bitcoin at 100, and it was kind of quirky. But as you try to sell to people, they just didn't get it. And, slowly but surely, people got orange-pilled, first on Bitcoin and then on the whole idea of this decentralized revolution, on what crypto could do. I really think it was Larry Fink that was the pinnacle, that once Larry bought in, ever since then, expansion of adoption is rolling downhill. And I think it's now like a snowball that's just going to keep picking up steam. The other part of this was I wanted to surround myself with young people that were really smart, that were creative. I wanted to learn new things. And I wanted to have a group that would be able to pivot. And so now Galaxy really has two businesses. We have pivoted not from just crypto to crypto and AI data center. And
that would be like Goldman saying we also do an AI data center.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about, because it's like there's it would be like Goldman meets AWS.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff Bezos pulled off books to the cloud, and I'm not saying I'm a Jeff Bezos, but what was interesting about Bitcoin mining, we had gotten into Bitcoin mining, and we happened to buy an amazing site in Texas. When the AI need for big power came up, the guys that owned lots of the big power were crypto miners.
Right.
And so we turn out to have one of the best sites. It's called Helios. And we've signed a lease with CoreWeave. We have an option on another big lease with CoreWeave. That's close to $14 billion of rent
wow.
over the next 15 years. So we are a data center company plus a crypto company. So yes, listen, our data center company will be, our first cash flow should happen first quarter next year. And so by mid next year, we should have the first section really flowing a whole bunch of cash. And at that point, I think the market will give us a lot of credit for saying, whoa, this is a big opportunity.
Do you think it's a hedge, or do you think that they actually are totally connected?
I think we pivoted. Listen, there's an emotional connection. These are the two most exciting, kind of growth areas in markets, right? AI and the infrastructure needed for AI to exist, and crypto finally at the brink. Right, we're going to get a bill done on Monday. Finally, at the brink of institutional adoption.
Right.
And we have built our company for this moment, and so I couldn't be more excited.
At the risk of maybe upsetting your regulators, given maybe some of your politics, I'm curious what you make. We had a piece earlier about the Trump family. Eric Trump was asked about what's going on with their engagement in the world of crypto. What do you think of that, and how you think it affects either the public's perception and credibility of crypto right now, or any of the other sort of bigger questions that it raises?
Yeah, so the 4 years under Biden were really un-American when it came to crypto. It was just misery. And this administration has been amazing for the space in general. The Elizabeth Warren faction of the Democrats are looking at the Trump participation and using that as a wedge to say, doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. What I'm proud about is that the core of the Democrats, Senator Warner, Senator Gallegos, really leading this genius bill, amongst others, have said crypto should be bipartisan. And if the Trump kids do something illegal, they should get prosecuted. We haven't seen them doing anything illegal yet, and I hope they don't. But let's not let their participation sidetrack this entire issue. Partly it's political, right? One of the reasons the Republicans did so well was crypto. They were the biggest funders of Trump. They highlighted this anti-innovation side that was the Democrats were being painted with. I used to say there are more crypto owners than dog owners. And so why are you the party against dogs? And I think the smart Democrats get it. And so we got to get this bill done, which I think happens Monday. Then there's a market structure bill. And then, quite frankly, crypto will go quiet in D.C.
And announcing USD1, which is another one of the crypto hats you're wearing over at World Liberty Financial, decentralized finance bank within crypto. I don't know. I can let you explain the project in a minute, but I'm interested in hearing about USD1 because this is your US dollar peg stablecoin that you're launching through World Liberty Financial. What's going to make this stand out, and what's becoming a more crowded market?
Yeah. Well, I've got two projects that I love. Obviously, American Bitcoin on one side and USD1 on the other side. And, one's really a store of value, which is Bitcoin, and one's really kind of utility. The reality is every single person in the world outside of America wants to own the US dollar. We should be very, very proud of that as a country. So to be able to actually launch a digital stablecoin, ours is called USD1, backed one-to-one by the US Treasury, and get massive adoption around the world, that just kind of buoys up the US dollar. The strength of the US dollar puts so many people from around the world in the US dollar, and I think it's a beautiful project. And so it's the fastest growing stablecoin ever. It is growing by leaps and bounds. It's being mined. It's going on every single one of the exchanges. And I'm putting my heart and soul into it. And honestly, Mackenzie, if it wasn't for the hell that the banks put us through, we became, because of the political process, right, which I've never been in. I've been on the periphery of it, obviously, as an advocate, but they put us through hell. They canceled our accounts. They tried to strip away our businesses. They tried to do everything that they could to put our company under. And you realize the weaponization that's happened in this country from so many of the big banks. And one day I started meeting all these great crypto people because the same thing was happening to them. The same people were going after them. And I go, why do these banks even need to exist? What is it that JP Morgan Chase does, that DeFi, that blockchain can't do better, cheaper, more efficiently, more transparently? Hence really the creation of this idea, and really hence my entrance into the cryptocurrency world. And I think it's going to solve a lot of problems. The SWIFT system in this country is absolutely broken. Every week I'm waiting for a wire transfer to come in at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, or trying to send one out. It's slow, it's lethargic, it doesn't make any sense. You look at what digital currency can do. You look what a digital currency backed by the US dollar, backed by US treasuries, that can be sent anywhere on earth instantaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, can do. It's going to revolutionize finance, and we're very excited to be on the forefront.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we got Mike Novogratz, and we know he's a Goldman Sachs guy. Says he got in early, but we know why. He was a part of the plan. And we have the Trump administration pushing crypto. And Mike Novogratz states that as soon as we get this stablecoin bill pushed through, crypto will go quiet in D.C. And that is a fact, because guess what? They're going to speed up the building. While the sheep sleep, the NWO builds. And we have Eric Trump. And we know the Trump family has been making billions in Bitcoin and crypto. Now has a stablecoin, the fastest growing stablecoin. You can't make this stuff up. And we know they're buying treasuries. And we know by them buying treasuries, these stablecoin issuers help the Fed. It keeps the Fed in control. And then we see Eric Trump is constantly hitting his talking points. The big banks are the problem. Guys, we know the big banks and big corporations have been funding crypto from the beginning. Do not fall for the Hegelian dialectic, but he's definitely trying. He's out selling and willing and dealing like his dad. And like I told you guys, the Trump family is going to go down as one of the greatest families in the history books, because Trump's job is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And guys, we know that is definitely biblical, but the sheep stay asleep. And then, guys, we have Charter buys Cox. More consolidation. I don't care what area you go to in this economy, it's a handful of people that own everything. And like I've told you several times before, I'm an old man. We used to fight against monopolies as I was growing up. I was a kid, but they used to fight against them. Now, everybody's distracted on things that don't matter. And we see these corporations getting bigger, more powerful, and steamrolling. And that's the reason why in the NWO book, I tell you, your corporations are your new government. And again, that is biblical. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Verizon buys Frontier. Is that correct, guys? No, it is definitely not. Frontier bought assets from Verizon. Verizon is only buying the assets back that it bought from Frontier. By Verizon selling to Frontier, it took those bad assets off. Only thing they're doing is putting those assets back on. Where is the SEC? Nowhere to be found. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have TikTok features to help kids' mental health. Yes, guys, you can't make this stuff up. But if you go to China, they don't have that type of algorithm. They're teaching the kids the right things. And they've been had time limits on gaming. And it's easy to change the algorithm. As soon as a kid logs in, they get to see kid things. They shouldn't be seeing adult things. But just remember, you're in America to Babylon, so it should not surprise you. And then we have Citi on the new financial rails. Citi Token Services moving money 24/7. And what did she say? When she was at R3, they thought they was going to replace the banks. And guys, again, we heard it from Gary Gensler, the banks are not giving up their monopoly. It's not happening unless there's a fight. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We all know Cox has been like the rumor of a takeover target for about a decade now.
Forever. That's right. And the reason they've never been acquired is simply because they've always said no. They've been they've been an unwilling seller until now. So, look, I don't know that this is the starting bell for a big consolidation, but I think it's a deal that makes sense. It's a deal that Charter has been operating quite well, probably the best in the cable industry. I heard your setup where you were saying that, does cable need saving? Cable doesn't really need saving. I think cable is actually in the catbird seat in convergence. They have a much better footprint and a big cost advantage in convergence versus the telephone companies. And so I think they're poised to win in convergence. And I think Charter has developed a pretty winning strategy that Cox thinks is appealing enough that it's worth finally to time.
Well, welcome back. Got some breaking news for you. The FCC just approving Verizon's $20 billion deal to buy Frontier Communications.
New age solutions to try to help soften its image as the company faces pressure over child mental health and late night scrolling, which, by the way, could be applicable to adults as well,
I was going to say.
Exactly. The company launching an in-app guided meditation exercises and other well-being tools aimed at young users. Now, TikTok says the meditation feature is aimed at improving sleep quality and will trigger during what they call sleep hours. It will be turned on by default for users under the age of 18. That starts at 10 p.m., though.
Wow.
I think maybe earlier would be better. Their feed will be interrupted by the meditation exercise. That'll be followed by a second prompt if the user keeps scrolling. Now, here's the problem. I have a time. I have a timer.
Like
on
a screen time limit.
Screen time limit on all sorts of social media apps on my phone. Already.
I do not.
Already. But when you reach the time,
Yes.
it tells you you've reached the time.
And you just keep going.
And then it says, would you like to bypass that for 15 minutes? Or would you like to bypass that for the day?
It's like hitting snooze on the alarm button.
Okay, and so then I do the 15 minutes. And then I do the 15 minutes again. And then sometimes I just do, screw it. Just do it for the day.
Well, if you're on a plane for 6 hours sometimes, then yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think that my children are scrolling, which they should not be if they're waking up right now and they're watching.
There's a lot of shoulds. There's a lot of shoulds.
No, I know, but is this really going to help at all?
I don't know. Probably. Look, if you're Meta, maybe, or if you're Snap, you're like, great, go ahead. We'll take all these frustrated, annoyed TikTok users when they jump off to come check our app for a second. There's this bill advancing, the Kids Online Safety Act.
Yep.
Like I said, they had tried it last year, has a little bit more traction now. And I wonder if some of this is trying to get ahead of these things by saying, hey, look what we're offering. Look what we're doing,
Yeah.
To avoid addictive scrolling, which I think is one of the targets of the bill.
But look, we've talked about this before. In China, the TikTok doesn't exist for children. Like they don't even allow it. It's just a different product.
I still wish Apple could do something with the iOS to set it up more like, parents do have some control, obviously, over their kids' phones. Who is this profile of this person using it? What do you want them to have access to and not? Wait, make the phone go dark at certain time.
Oh, there's no question, by the way, for everything that's fabulous about this phone, and most people know I love Apple.
Yeah,
I love all the things they do, except for the controls for kids.
Yeah.
It's actually shocking. It's the one piece of the software that they've not nailed. And they clearly, it's an underinvestment,
Even
and they haven't done it.
No,
I don't get it.
And even when you want to use it more, so sometimes for the 1, the 2, the 3-year-olds, it's like, I want that video to keep going. Don't let them, and you have to watch YouTube videos about how to hijack the controls to kind of keep the screen. I'm like, make it easier for them to watch too. It's not all just about taking it away.
There's got to be a better way. There's always a better way.
I think a lot of this is coming from DC as well. And TikTok especially has.
We launched City Token Service last year, which is the ability to move money 24/7, 365, basically instantaneously. And I think that's really important. Like, what is the actual benefit that our clients want in this space? And our strategy is build by partner. We've also had several investments in this space. We just recently announced SDX that we're partnering with them on early IPO shares. So I think that, with this progress, we're just going to continue to enhance these solutions, and everything we do is based on our client demand. So, as our clients move into different asset classes, different rails, we will as well. So if you think of one of Citi's crown jewels, it's our network, right? We're in 90 plus countries. We move somewhere between $4 and $5 trillion a day. If our clients want to use a new set of rails, whatever it is, we'll make sure that we're able to provide that for our clients.
And when I think of that new set of rails and cross-border payments, I do think of City Token Service. So for someone who's unfamiliar with this product, how does it work, and what's the incentive for your customer base to turn to that and the crypto side of payments rather than traditional rails?
Yeah, so our we serve most of the large multinational Fortune 500 companies out there. And if you're a large multinational, you have bank accounts around the globe. And you have to forecast to keep money in all these different branches for bank holidays or cutoffs or, weekends and holidays. Imagine that you can move money instantaneously 24/7. Like, why doesn't money match the speed of the internet? And that's really what we've been developing. So over the last 2 years, we launched it and we're live in US, UK, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And what we did was we targeted the largest money hubs, but also the ones with the most amount of friction. Because for instance, if it's 5 p.m. in New York on Friday, it's 5 a.m. in Singapore. You have to forecast and keep money in Singapore ahead of the bank closure there. Now you can move it instantaneously. Or we saw a client use it during Chinese New Year. So Singapore was closed for Chinese New Year, but yet they were investing in U.S. equities and had margin calls. Now they can move that money instantaneously. So taking that whole friction out of the system to be able to move money instantaneously. And I think that there's a lot of synergies between the multitude of clients that we're seeing. Everyone's like, is it only, e-commerce platforms or is it digital clients? It's all industries that we're seeing. We now have dozens of clients across, the platform that are using it on a regular basis. And it's really positive to see this kind of change. I think that we're starting to see the TradFi and DeFi world really come together. Like when I entered this space, I'm aging myself, 10 plus years ago, it was when I was at R3, it was we were setting out to disintermediate the banks. We thought that, we could disintermediate them. Actually, what we're going through now is very reminiscent of the early 2000s, when you saw a lot of these payment intermediaries evolve, these fintechs evolve in different spaces that were they're going to disintermediate the banks. Actually, a lot of them still require the traditional infrastructure, bank accounts, custody, that, a lot of them still run on, large, kind of bank institutional rails. I think we're going to see the same thing in this industry as we evolve. It's not going to be an either or. You're going to see more of these partnerships. Our strategy is build by partner. Where certain aspects of it, like City Token Service, we're building that, kind of that foundation within City. We've also announced recently a partnership with SDX to offer early IPO shares to our clients. And again, it's all around transparency, access, speed. So, and then partner, and then invest. And we also acquire and build, with a lot of companies out there too. And I think that's going to continue as this evolution continues, seeing the world's come together.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.